A very good afternoon to all brothers and sisters in the Dhamma. So today is 28th September 2025. It's a Sunday class. So we'll be continuing our sharing from this book, the Surangama Sutra. So as usual, we gather and have our physical puja. Let us now compose our mind, develop the faith, Saddha, Virya, then mindfully we shall commence the Puja chanting. Namo 本师释迦牟尼佛 Namo 本师释迦牟尼佛 Namo 本师释迦牟尼佛 Namo 观世音菩萨 Namo 观世音菩萨 Namo 观世音菩萨 Namo 药师佛 Namo 药师佛 Namo 药师佛 Namo 文殊菩萨 Namo 文殊菩萨 Namo 文殊菩萨 Namo 普贤菩萨 Namo 普贤菩萨 Namo 普贤菩萨 Namo 地藏王菩萨 Namo 地藏王菩萨 Namo 地藏王菩萨 Namo 佛菩萨 Namo 佛菩萨อะระหังสัมมาสัมพุทโธภะคะวะบุตตังภะคะวันตังอะภิวาเทมิสวากาโตภะคะวะตาธัมโมธัมมังนัมสสามิสุปฏิปันโนภะคะวะโตสาวกสังโฆสังฆังนะมามิ Okay, now we will recite the salutation. นะโมตัสสะภะคะวะโตอะระหะโตสัมมาสัมพุทธัสสะนะโมตัสสะภะคะวะโตอะระหะโตสัมมาสัมพุทธัสสะนะโมตัสสะภะคะวะโตอะระหะโตสัมมาสัมพุทธัสสะบุตตังสรณังกัจฉามิธัมมังสรณังกัจฉามิสังฆังสรณังกัจฉามิดุติยัมปิพุทธังสรณังกัจฉามิติยัมปิธัมมังสรณังกัจฉามิดุติยัมปิสังฆังกัจฉามิตติยัมปิพุทธังสรณังกัจฉามิตติยัมปิธัมมังสรณังกัจฉามิตติยัมปิสังฆังสรณังกัจฉามิปานาติปาตาเวรมณีสิกขาปดังสมาธิยามิอาทินาดานาเวรมณีสิกขาปดังสมาธิยามิกาเมสุมิจฉาจาระเวรมณีสิกขาปดังสมาธิยามิมุสาวาทาเวรมณีสิกขาปดังสมาธิยามิสุราเมรยามัจจาปมาดัฏฐานะเวรมณีสิกขาปดังสมาธิยามิสาธุสาธุสาธุ Let us pay respect to Puja. Buddhang Pujemi. Dhammang Pujemi. Sanghang Pujemi. Invocation to the Devas. In this universe, in their entirety, let the deities and Devas come here. Let them hear the good teachings of the King of Sages. which is heaven and release, Nibbana. This is the time to listen to the teaching. This is the time to listen to the teaching. This is the time to listen to the teaching. Samanta Chakawalesu Atra Gachantu Devata Saddhamang Muni Rajasa Sunantu Sakamokadang Dhamma Sharing Kalo Ayang Badanta Dhamma Sharing Kalo Ayang Badanta Dhamma Sharing Kalo Ayang Badanta Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa Iti Beso Bhagava Arahang Samma Sambuddho Vijacharana Sampanno Sugato Lokavidu Anotaro Purisa Dhammasarati Satta Deva Manusanang Buddho Bhagavati Swakato Bhagavata Dhammo Sanditiko Akaliko Ehipaseko Opanaiko Pajatang Veditabo Vinohiti Supatipanno Bhagavato Sakasangho Ujupatipanno Bhagavato Sakasangho Nyayapatipanno Bhagavato Sakasangho Samicipatipanno Bhagavato Sakasangho Yadidang Cattari Purisa Yukani Atta Purisa Pugala Sa Bhagavato Sakasangho Ahuneyo Huneyo Dakeneyo Anjali Karaneyo Nutarang Punyang Kita Lokasati Sadhu Sadhu Sadhu. Okay, you can visit that. Then now we will continue from where we stopped, and I think it's on page Romanized number 32. Okay, we are at number 8, yes. The syllogism and tetralemma. Many readers may be surprised by how much logical argumentation they encounter in the first half of our Surangama Sutra discussion. In fact, Buddhism and other Indian religions develop highly elaborate system of formal logic. In this sutta, both the Buddha and Ananda make use of syllogism. Move up, say. That are advanced as proof of proposition. This syllogism largely conform to the system of logic inference developed by Buddhist logicians in India, and they are known as Hetovada. Occasionally, too, one encounter an example of fourfold negation, which is called the Tantra Lema. Okay, the part on syllogism. According to ancient India or Indian formal logic, the truth of a proposition can be demonstrated in a 5-step syllogism. First is a proposition which is stated. They call it pratinya. Then the second is hetu. The reason that the proposition is claimed to be true is stated. Then number 3 is dastanta or udaharana. One or more instances of the proposition that can be found in ordinary life are given. Then the 4th, these instances are applied to the proposition, showing how they demonstrate its truth. These are termed upanyaya. Then the conclusion itself, which is termed nigamana, reiterates the proposition now demonstrated. The 5 steps were later reduced to 3, in effect, leaving out the last 2 of the 5, means only the proposition, the reason for the proposition, and the instance, how they are applied. Whether it's positive instance or negative instance. In the Surangama Sutra, the Buddha uses elements of both the 3-step and the 5-step procedures. What is perhaps most striking to the Western reader is the importance given to instances, in effect specific case of a proposition, provided that they are precisely applicable, are considered to be demonstrative of the truth of the proposition in general. Debate therefore centers on whether an instance is in fact an applicable case, that is, whether the truth of the proposition can indeed be inferred from it. The pattern of inference by instance is a dominant rhetorical element in the first half of the sutta. The following example, drawn from the beginning of part 2, may be helpful in following the many occurrences of this pattern. Proposition. It is the mind, not the eye, that sees in the text. This step is implicit rather than stated. The reason being our visual awareness is active, even if nothing is being seen. Instance drawn from daily life or ordinary life. In the Buddha's word, if you ask a blind man on the street, "Do you see anything?" he would no doubt answer, "All I see is darkness." Then application of the instant. Reflect upon what that might mean. Although the blind man sees only darkness, his visual awareness is intact. Then number 5, the conclusion. The eye themselves simply reveals visual object. It is the mind that sees, not the eye. Then the 4-fold negation. Actually, when it comes to proving all this based on logic, as I have gone through with you all, because if you cannot understand that we have 2 minds, the true mind and the mundane mind, then we will be very confused. Because when you understand these 2, then you can break free from thought delusion. Because the mundane mind, which is dependent originating, condition arising phenomena, is not a permanent unchanging entity. It is dependent originating, condition arising, causal phenomena. So when you understand that, then you will be able to explain clearly what seeing is. That's why in the early day when I share how to see form, how to see the unreality of form, then how to see beyond form, then how to see mind, the unreality of mind, then only you can see beyond mind. To understand clearly the big difference between direct seeing and condition arising seeing as manifested by the mundane thinking mind, or the mundane consciousness, which is condition arising, dependent originating. So like I always say, I alone don't see, mind alone don't see. So that one will break free from all the logic, because logically, when a person say I see, what does it mean? Yeah? They never inquire in that. What is the I that see? Yeah? You remember? That I that see. It's not EYE, you know. It is the capital I, you know, the entity. So you say I lah. Then you ask, without I can you see? Oh, then he starts to use logic in it. My eye see. Okay? Logical or not? Logical is that. Then you ask the blind man who has the eye, ask him to see. Does he see? He can't see then. He see complete darkness in there. So, logically, that person will change his logic based on what has been inquired or challenged. So initially, he said the eye mean my eye organ, see. But blind man got eye, cannot see. Then he think further, the next logic is what? Like what is mentioned inside there by the religious people. My mind see. You understand not? They know without mind, there is no seeing consciousness. You are not able to see. Okay, fair enough. My mind see. Okay. Then a dead man, yeah, with the eye, yeah, and without the consciousness, there is no visual possibility there. So, a blind man has the mind, but he doesn't see. So how can you say the mind see? So what is seeing? For those who know the two mind, like what I explained earlier on, the first is a pure awareness through the direct seeing. They see things as they are. No duality, nothing. No word, no concept. As it is. Where that is the pure awareness nature's direct seeing. Whereas the one that is the resultant of that nature's dependent originating or condition arising seeing is not the direct seeing. That one is dependent on causes and conditions. So when the causes and conditions are there, then seeing consciousness arises. So seeing is not the I see or the mind see. Seeing is dependent originating, condition arising, causal phenomena. That's why the Buddha realized this profound wisdom. within the conditioned world. Everything you come to perceive through your consciousness, they are dependent originating. Without causes and conditions, nothing arises. So from there, you break free from the thought delusion, from all the logic explanation as given by all the various religious teacher or master at that time who was trying to use logic to explain. And through this logic, they think they have wisdom. No, wisdom comes from that nature. If you don't stay and abide with that true mind or pure awareness nature, you cannot understand. As I Huining, the first hallmark is you must realize 无念的境界, the state of no thought. Then only you can be with your true mind or silent mind or your meditative mind. So with that, all realization and truth can manifest, where that one can see things as they are, can insight into phenomena, and awaken to the three universal characteristics of anicca, dukkha, and anatta. And that one cannot be deceived or deluded by the phenomenal world of consciousness. And when you understand that, then you will penetrate profoundly, deeply. And this is what the Surangama Sutra's teaching is all about. Stay with your pure awareness nature. Then from there, you will awaken. You will develop the understanding. Then all this will not be a problem to you anymore. Then you will come to know mind make adi. So mind is the forerunner of all things. Mind is chief. When mind arises, all things arise. Within the existential world, the conditioned world, everything is conditioned, arising, dependent, originating. It's just a phenomena. Mind make come and go, come and go. It's just consciousness, moment to moment, arise and pass away. And the only reality within life is the present moment, as we all have developed the understanding, because the past is already gone, no more reality. Future yet to come, also not a reality. The present moment, every moment, every instant it arises and passes away. That is the only reality. But how stable is the present moment? Split second, they and gone. Arise and pass away very fast. That's why the transient nature of existence, where they are dependent originating phenomena, and they arise and pass away dependent on causes and conditions moment to moment. So how real can life be? Where the present moment is the only reality and maybe highest in life. You can be with the present moment. Your dependent originating mind will not be heedless, will not manifest, will not cling on to the past and the future, which are not a reality. But then, that moment is so transient, and yet it's the only reality. So how real can life be? That's why it's empty nature or existence, anatta nature, not a permanent unchanging entity. So once you penetrate this, you penetrate the three universal characteristics of anicca, dukkha, anatta, and you penetrate all the wisdom that you need to understand life, to understand existence, and to understand the Surangama Sutra's teaching. That's why this part is seldom understood. But they like to use the mundane mind, to use logic to develop the understanding. They like to analyze. they like to use it to apart from analysis, you also use the thought process to reason. The reasoning is part of logic's requirement. You try to reason, then you try to analyze with your thought knowledge, or so-called mundane intellect. And all these are not wisdom. That's why you cannot break free from the delusion of thought, from the creation of the mundane, dependent originating mind. Then you will be caught left and right, where you use logic. Truth is beyond thought, beyond mind, beyond the reasoning, analysis, and logical mundane thinking. So you cannot apply that type of approach. That's why the early religious approach to truth or awakening cannot stand. It breaks down. So now we go back to the notes, then we read further, you will understand better. Then the second part is the tetralema, the fourfold negation. In the logic of ancient India, statement could be affirmed, negated, neither affirmed nor negated, and both affirmed and negated. The founder of emptiness school, see, this is how they break it down. Under the Madhyamaka school of Buddhism, the Bodhisattva Nagarjuna popularized the logical negation of these four possibilities as a way of showing the emptiness of anything that might be construed as a real permanent self or permanent unchanging entity or phenomena, or as an attribute of a real permanent self or phenomena. In this fourfold negation, sometimes called or termed tetralema or katuskoti, a proposition is asserted to be neither true nor not true, nor both true and not true, nor either true or not true. This formula can serve as a reminder in our practice that all we perceive is empty of any attribute, and so nothing definitive can be asserted about the world and the content of the mind. There are numerous instances of tetralema in this sutta. Move up. Okay, then the commentarial tradition. This one is to let you understand how all this evolve and come about. The ancient wisdom tradition, the sacred texts, have generally been studied with the aid of commentaries that were either written or spoken by esteemed spiritual teachers. The usual pattern has been that each passage of text is followed by interpretive comment, sometimes quite lengthy. Full stop. The Bodhisattva are no exception. Around the Surangama Sutra, in particular, a rich commentarial tradition has flourished. As mentioned above, one such found reference to 127 Chinese commentaries on this sutta, including 59 in the Ming Dynasty between 1368 to 1644 alone, when the sutta was especially popular. For serious students of this sutta, the commentarial exegesis are essential. The present translator have closely consulted two recent commentaries, in particular that by Master Xuanhua, Venerable Xuanhua, and that of Venerable Master Yuan Ying between 1877 to 1953. In addition, translator also made use of the Ming Dynasty commentary by Venerable Master Jiao Guan Zhen Xian, and occasionally the commentaries by the famous or celebrated Ming Dynasty Zen Master Hsuan between 1546 to 1623, and the Qing Dynasty Master, Venerable Master, how to pronounce this, Shufa or what? Shifa. Okay, we go to the notes, 42 and 43. Okay. Oh, Yuan Yun, Yuan Yun. Da Fo Ding. How to read the Mandarin word? So. Ding So Leng Yan. Jing Jiang Yi. Then Shanghai. Oh, Shanghai Si Fo Xiao Xie Hui. Okay. Then 41 is Da Fo Ding also. Oh, same one, yeah. Same one, that one is the Taiwan. Then the 42 is by Hsuan. Also Da Fo Ding. Oh, same one. Then Qing Ling. I know different author, but the title is the same. Then Qing Ling Ke. The last one, Mandarin 1894, is Qing Ling Ke Chu. The Mandarin word. Ke Chu. Ke Chu. Then Sufa. Shifa. Oh, okay, that one also same. Okay, we go back to the notes. So they refer to all this commentary. So the next part of the commentary is on engagement with sutras as spiritual practice. Okay, we go through this one. In the Buddhist tradition, sutras are understood to contain the teachings of the Buddhas and greatly enlightened masters. They function as a guidebook to the path to awakening. For those reasons, they are treated with reverence. It is customary to keep sutra in a clean place, either above or below, or apart from circular work, to handle them with respect, and to read them only while one is sitting upright and standing, never while one is lying down or in a slouchy position. So this one is what they believe in Anasana. So if you want to follow, it's up to you, because this is, to me, non-significant. Your respect comes from your understanding, because that sutta is not that book with the writing on it. Understand? That sutta is the penetrative wisdom of the awakened disciples of the Buddha or awakened masters. Like I always explain to you all in the early days, all this so-called Mahayana Sutta or whatever sutta you may come across, especially the higher teaching sutta, Mahayana Sutta, they are very profound, very difficult to comprehend. So to me, it's meant for enlightened beings, or beings that are near to enlightenment. When you have that processing condition to receive those teachings, to penetrate those teachings, then the moment you read, you will awaken, because there are causes and conditions behind. But this type of sutta and teaching is not for normal people, because they arise from the great beings, especially Sammasambuddha. They are awakening, their nature's awakening, or you can say their penetrative realization. So all this can only be understood by the wise, each for themselves. That's why they are for people who have the causes and conditions to penetrate them. Whereas normal living beings, you use logic, mundane thinking, to try to reason, to try to analyze and come out with your intellectual understanding. Is very difficult. Very, very difficult. And it may take you a long time. That's why in the early days, they believe in the gradual teaching. Means as you cultivate gradually, one day you will awaken. Nothing wrong with that statement, except for those who understood, like Hui Ning. There is no such thing as gradual awakening or enlightenment. All enlightenment is that moment, instant. That's why they call it the sudden teaching. Sudden teaching. Yeah. And this sudden teaching, when you are not ready, you cannot realize. Of course, they say, gradually, you will one day awaken. But every awakening is sudden, within the moment. When the nature awakens, when the pure awareness nature insight in the phenomena or see things as they are and develop the awakening and understanding, then it manifests. That's why it's not from thought. It's not from reasoning, analysis. It's not from knowledge accumulated in the memory. It's a realization, it's an awakening that awakens. And that one is beyond thought, beyond mind. So all sutta have that capability. Yeah. It comes from great beings, especially Sammasambuddha or any other great beings that has developed the awakening, then they teach. Like the Sixth Patriarch Platform Sutta, although it's not from Sammasambuddha, but it's from a great being that has the understanding. The Heart Sutta also Xing. And there are many of these sutta, but most of them are from the Sammasambuddha. Especially for our sasana, we receive all these teachings from Sakyamuni Buddha. Most of the Mahayana teaching, including the Amitabha Sutta and all the various type of sutta by other great beings. That's why if you understand this part, then it will prevent you from deviating, getting lost, being deceived. Then you approach it with understanding. Okay, we go back to the sharing the notes. Okay, now we move on to the sutta part, sutra. Like sacred texts in other religious tradition, can themselves be the focus of a spiritual practice. Some practitioners read a particular text, such as the Surangama Sutra, for a certain period of time each day. Others commit a text to memory and recite it. Yet another practice is to bow in reverence to it. One bow to each word or character in turn until one has bowed through the entire text. Such practices can develop faith, loosen the tie to the self, and lead to personal transformation and spiritual growth. So this is their explanation on the sutta part. But like I said, all these suttas, when you read them, they are actually wisdom as experienced by Sama Sambuddha and great beings. You need to awaken to read, to have the similar realization. And all this realization need to be stabilized. So how you approach it depend on your past, depend on your affinity and other things. Because different cultivator approach it differently. So you can actually understand all this as you develop the Bodhisattva way cultivation. When you have extensive experience and exposure to the Bodhisattva cultivation, then when you come, you will develop the understanding. Take for example my nature. Every life, when this nature arises after it has the understanding, it will develop the what I should say is the understanding to actually connect. Then when it connect back like this segmented line after 1989, after my nature connect, then my spiritual nature's inheritance, perfection, cultivation, they come back to my nature. Then my nature develop all this understanding very fast, very naturally. Then I reach back to where I have cultivated. Then from there, I continue the training. I continue to fulfill my vows, to fulfill my perfection, my cultivation, etc., etc. But then, in between all this awakening and cultivation, my nature will arise. Then those that have affinity with my nature, somehow or other, they will be born during that period too. Then they will develop the affinity and encounter with my nature. Then somehow they will come, or sometimes they come across my teaching, my sharing, and because of the affinity, they benefited. Then they develop the transformation. That's why from all this, for so many segmented life, this nature realize everyone is different. You understand that part now. Everyone is different. Why? All of you that come, very different. Your pace of cultivation depend on your own affinity and past causes and conditions. Because different people are different. Some, if you have nature like Huineng and other things, straight away they understand and they progress very fast. But some take very long because of karmic obstruction, because of what they call different belief and views, mainly due to karmic past and other things. Then they find it very difficult to break free. Then some are due to their rigid attachment to their past practices. They cannot disbelieve that all these are not the correct understanding and training. So you hold on to all this. You don't have an open mind to investigate and develop the understanding, then you will be blocked, you will be trapped. But then in between the cultivation, so you go back to the notes. Just now, like what they have told you, different practitioners, they cultivate differently. Like the first one, They focus on the spiritual practice. Some practitioners read a particular text, such as the Surangama Sutra, for a certain period of time each day, and that is the way they cultivate. Yeah. Then some commit the text to memory and recite it. Then there is another one that practice through bowing and reverence to it. Then they bow to each word and character in turn until one bow through the entire text. Such practices can develop faith. This is very true. You have faith, like you recite Amitofo or whatever, or Leng Yan Jing or whatever. You have the faith. Here they say loosen the tie to the self. Forget about this. It's the faith, the spiritual faculty when it's developed. It will insight in the phenomena. It will awaken by itself, and it's the wisdom that leads to the awakening that liberates your Sakayaditi, self-delusion. Then it will lead to personal transformation and spiritual growth, which is true. But you look at Hui Neng, do you realize how different he is? He's illiterate. He never studied even the basic education. He doesn't go to temple. He just simple, fill up piety, chop firewood, deliver to the merchant. Then as he delivered, after he delivered, he heard people chanting the Surangama Sutra. Oh, sorry, the Diamond Sutra, Diamond Sutra, Jinkanji. When that verse arises, the mind must have no dwelling. He straight away came to great awakening. What type of practice? He never read the sutta, he never commit to memory, he never even pay respect. He never do any of the thing that is mentioned inside there. But how come? He can develop the awakening and understanding. That's why everyone is different. Like I share with you all. The way my nature share and deliver is also very penetrative because of the perfection, the cultivation, and the past understanding. And because of that, the way my nature arises, when the time comes, it will receive all this teaching also very fast, in its own unique way. That's why Hui Neng, the way he teach, also very penetrative. So the moment he hear this truth, he connect back, and from there the nature manifests. That's why our Puji sing, the Bodhi mind that you have developed until very stable. That's why the making of the vow, the Bodhisattva vow, is very, very important. And the Aditthana, if you know how to invoke all this power of merits, power of truth, wholesomeness, everything, for causes and conditions, for you to have this type of wisdom and understanding, life after life, whenever you arise, deeply planted. Then when the time comes, especially during sasana, they will awaken. And they don't need teacher actually, technically. They only need truth. But when it comes to normal beings that are not so evolved, not so well cultivated in the past, these are like more new cultivator or Dhamma practitioner who are searching. That's why it depends on their karmic, it depends on their past affinity, conditioning, etc. That's why everyone is different, and you come through different causes and conditions. Some has affinity Kuan Yin's nature. Then because of that, my nature has a lot of what they call close affinity with Kuan Yin nature because of the faith and past encounter, etc. Then through that Kuan Yin's nature or affinity, you have certain type of affinity, then you may be like directed to meet my nature. In fact, this segmented line, I realize a lot of them came through affinity Kuan Yin's nature. Yeah. Then of course there are quite a number that came through my vow, the food that my nature eat. Yeah. Then I vow to take them across. Some are my parents who in the past has already developed certain type of virtuous act, but they don't know who am I and what my nature is. And because of that, at those encounter, I manifest the pure wish and create a causal condition for them to arise. So cultivation is not about how you believe in the approach. I use the word approach, where it can be method, technique, or belief system, or even chanting or whatever. In fact, you have faith, that is most important. That faith will bring forth the spiritual faculty. That's why those are the Pure Land tradition. You may think they just chant repetitively. Amitofo, Amitofo, Amitofo. So all this, when you do it, the mindfulness develop, the faith develop, the affinity with that great beings or Amitabha Buddha and the great vow they develop, then it will trigger the causes and condition for the wisdom to arise. Then from there, you develop the understanding, awakening, and you transform. That's why you can approach it from any direction. And a lot of cultivator has already, if you have cultivated the Bodhisattva way long enough, you can even draw example from a lot of this type of sutta, like Vimalakirti Sutta, where the Bodhisattva, that great being, he has encountered 90 million Sammasambuddha, not to say Buddhas, Sammasambuddha, a fully enlightened one. And these are not fiction or just plucked out of nowhere. These are reality. But as you cultivate, you will meet and encounter them. And like I said, if you are in this spiritual field, you will also encounter many. But if you are not in this spiritual field with this type of affinity, and you hardly encounter. You will not believe that there is such thing as this type of beings around. And like a lot of skeptical people, especially from some of the, I should say, tradition that are not so good or well developed in their understanding. They even tell you nowadays in this world, to meet out with a Sotapanna also very rare. It depends. If you don't have the affinity, you can't. You really can't. But you have the affinity, not only Sotapanna, all the great beings' nature, they are everywhere. Ever radiating for the cultivator of the way, the sincere cultivator of the way with affinity. You will be able to sense their presence, and you will be able to draw on what you need from their nature. Some is through what I have taught you all. That's why I say, develop affinity of the great beings, pay your respect, recite their whatever forehao or anything that can bring forth the affinity, faith, and the conditioning to walk the path of Dhamma. Then when this is being done, it will manifest on its own through causes and conditions. Then when the time comes, it will manifest. That's why you must know how to pay respect, develop the faith, then express your gratitude. Gratitude is very important. You must thank all these great beings for their great loving kindness, compassion, wisdom, and blessings and protection. So always seek their blessing, protection, and finally guidance. You express your gratitude. Then you thank them sincerely, profoundly. Then after that, continue to seek their guidance, protection, and blessing. And through this simple act of gratitude, respect, faith, and understanding, your requests will be granted. That's why all these are very powerful, I should say, understanding for cultivator to progress and to move in the right direction. What you must do is ask for forgiveness to break all your karmic obstruction. That one is very important. You cannot break all the karmic obstruction. It will obstruct you and cost you very dearly when you walk this path. So asking for forgiveness, repentance, having understanding to develop all the gratitude, sincere, what they call expression of gratitude and thanks towards all the great beings, the teacher, the Sammasambuddha, and all those that are worthy of respect, offering, gift, and whatever. So all this can bring forth the way. So this part of the sutta, if you cannot have the understanding, you cannot develop the understanding of it, because very few beings or cultivator of the way can share this understanding with you. Although we read through the sutta, but what does it mean? Most people cannot understand. Okay, now we go back to the sutta. We can move on already. Okay, the next part. The sutra as practical guides. Yeah. So this one is like what I explained to you all before. All these words that are in the sutta, they are like guide. You call it what? Guide, signposts. Sorry. Because the sutta are the words of enlightened being, points towards the truth. So it's like the finger pointing at the moon. The finger is like the sutta pointing towards the truth. To realize the truth, which is like the moon, you must graze beyond the finger. That's all. You must go beyond the sutta. The sutta is not the thing. The sutta are words pointing towards that realization and awakening. But you must have the affinity and the understanding to awaken to it. So sutta is only of use if you cultivate correctly, if you develop heedfulness from the pure awareness nature, sati, mindfulness. If you don't cultivate from the true mind, the first hallmark of healing, if you approach it through thought-based meditation, you cannot penetrate. So all these are key pointer and understanding. Okay, now I read through, then you all can understand. The sutra as practical guide. The Buddha should not be understood as a philosopher who was trying to develop a systematic philosophical system, complete with his own epistemology, metaphysics, and cosmology. Nor was he engaging in early scientific thinking. His teaching do not speculate about the nature of what seems to us to be the external world. Rather, his goal was to teach beings to understand the experience in such a way that they would be able to eliminate suffering and the fundamentally unsatisfactory quality of their lives. When we read in the sutta statement that seems to be abstract philosophical claims or excursion into neuroscience or cognitive psychology, we should realize that the purpose and meaning of this statement is to be understood and evaluated in light of their utility. How come they use the word utility?
The use of it.
Oh, yeah. The use of it, yeah. Okay. In that sense, that is correct. In the light of their utility, the use of it in advanced spiritual practice of cultivation. So this part of the commentary's explanation is not too bad. Not too bad. So that's why in the early days, I think when I was young, I used to hear this type of comment even in the school or when I read up all the books. They used to say the Buddha is not a god, you remember? And the Buddhist teaching is a way of life. You heard of it? So all this is because they don't comprehend what Sammasambuddha is. When you comprehend the Sammasambuddha, it is way beyond all those things. Because this teaching, which is the Dhamma as realized by the Buddha, is so profound. And because of his nature, Sammasambuddha's nature, his long period of cultivation and perfection, he completely understood the secret of life. And because he understood the secret of life, he can develop the wisdom to live life so that he does not develop the delusion to be entangled by the condition, Dhamma, and whatever that manifests within the condition. Then because of his extensive realization and perfection, he also realized the unconditioned. So because of that, he can live. He can come and teach, share, and develop all this understanding for humanity. And it can dawn as a sasana, a period where this teaching can be around for those that have the affinity, faith, to receive them. So this unique ability actually is very difficult to define. So what the commentary did is quite good. It of course go beyond philosophy, go beyond just a way of life. The teaching is born of an awakening or enlightenment, born of that long period of perfection and cultivation. And because of that, when he arrives, depending on the era, the period, the civilization. So when he arrives 2,600 over years ago, most of the time he was laying the foundation for the Theravada tradition's provisional teaching. Then of course, to his close disciple and those that have affinity with his nature, that have received his prediction or what, he teach them accordingly. But basically, what is recorded is the bulk of it initially is just the Theravada tradition's provisional teaching. But the higher teaching came later, when the Mahayana Patriarch arise after Bodhidhamma transmit the teaching that develops into the Mahayana tradition to China. 大摩祖师. So this Bodhidhamma is the first to actually take the teaching across to China. And he was the first patriarch of China. That's why after Dhamma is the second patriarch, Huike. Then the third patriarch, the fourth patriarch, the fifth patriarch, Hongren. Then the sixth patriarch, Huineng. They predict at that time, even Bodhidhamma predicted, you must wait till Huineng arise. Then after that, the rope, the patriarchship, and the pole, the tradition of passing it down from one patriarch to the next can be done away with, where these are not important. The important one is the Dhamma understanding, the penetrative understanding. That's why they finally develop the mind-to-mind seal, the direct transmission. But to receive that is not easy. You must have great cultivation, in-depth cultivation, and also affinity with all this gripping. Then when it is being transmitted, only those who have the understanding and the affinity can receive them. And the mind-to-mind seal is very funny. Sometimes it doesn't go through your memory. It just goes through your nature. When you're silent. That's why the silent mind is very important. You will receive. Then after that, you may think you didn't listen, but through your pure awareness nature, you're aware, you just silence everything and allow this wisdom energy, or what we call vibration, very fine, to just go in. Then what happens is, after you arise, inside, it will move by itself, it will transform by itself. Then later on, when you encounter any of this sutta or any of this profound teaching, the understanding just manifests. Because the mind-to-mind seal has already transmitted that understanding and teaching. And this is what we call pacetang, the realization. So, the way you receive truth, the way you receive the teaching is very different. Everyone is different. So every approach is different. It's unique in accordance with the individual's affinity with Triple Gem, the great beings, and also your past causes and conditions, your vows, your cultivation, everything. Then it will just manifest. Okay, we go back to the notes. Rather, his goal was to teach beings to understand their experiences in such a way that they would be able to eliminate suffering. This one is correct. And the fundamentally unsatisfactory quality of their life. This part is just small part of the first noble truth reality. It's not to say unsatisfactory quality of their life. No, it's just to realize the reality of life and existence. Why in the proclamation of the First Noble Truth by the Buddha, he said, birth is suffering, old age, sickness and death is suffering. Separation from loved one and prized possession is suffering. When you are with people whom you don't like, it's suffering. When things don't go your way, it's suffering. When you cannot get what you want, when your expectations in life are not met, those are suffering. Then in short, he said, the final summary, it is due to one's sakayaditi that condition wants to grasp and cling onto the five aggregate of form and mind. That condition suffering is dukkha. That one is very profound. So it's not that life is basically unsatisfactory. No. And they use the word fundamentally unsatisfactory quality of their life. No, that is not true. What the Buddha meant is there is a noble truth of dukkha prevalent everywhere when you don't have the wisdom, when you don't have the Dhamma understanding. Then you can see karmic conditioning, karmic manifestation, and developing into suffering. Yeah, you through delusion grasp and cling onto the five aggregate of form and mind. That sakayaditi is very powerful. So when you understand, then this part doesn't apply. Then it's also mentioned when we read the sutta statement that seems to be abstract philosophical claims or excursion into neuroscience or cognitive psychology. We should realize that the purpose and meaning of this statement is to be understood and evaluated in the light of their utility in advanced spiritual practice. This one they try to put it in their own way the best they can. But in actual fact, it's not really the sutta statement that is like very abstract and philosophical or esoteric. The other meaning is esoteric. Not really, actually. If you really can understand, all these suttas, the words are very profound, very penetrative, and very direct. Nothing abstract, nothing esoteric or whatever. It's because living beings cannot understand. They cannot differentiate between the two minds, the true mind and the dependent originating or condition arising mundane mind. If you cannot penetrate this basic wisdom with regards to mind, then you cannot understand. That's it. So this part, a lot of commentaries, they try to put it into words that hopefully they can express it well. But like I said, this commentary is not bad. They have improved a lot from their early version. So just bear in mind what I explained. Then I read on. In a celebrated passage from the middle length discourse of the Buddha compared himself and his teaching to a surgeon who removed a poisoned arrow from a man's body in order to save his life. The surgeon instructed the man how to care for his wound so that it will heal quickly. But he gives him no extraneous medical information that would not be germane to his healing. So this part is by the commentary, you can forget about it. Because basically when it comes to spiritual teaching, it's more to develop the wisdom. The Buddha is not really a surgeon that help you solve your sickness and disease. He just teach you the Dhamma, and he wants you to learn the Dhamma, so that when you awaken, you learn the Dhamma. You know how to confront life. You know how to live life. You know how to accept the reality of life and existence. You will not cling, you will not attach. It's not like try to cure you. Then you don't develop the wisdom, you go and live your life the heedless old way again, then you entangle again. That is not the Buddha's job. Understand? That's why my nature when it comes is the same. I can only teach you the Dhamma, and you apply the Dhamma to solve your own problem. You do what you have to do. You need to ask for forgiveness, ask for forgiveness. You need to do the repentance too. Then you need to seek whatever advice that can help you. Then you seek them. And after that, you understand already, you know how you get yourself entangled through the karmic element. Then you vow not to repeat all this wrong thing. So that in the future, your life will not get into such mess and entanglement. And that is better. When you understand that, then you decide to repent sincerely by what? Following the advice of the Buddha, to avoid all evil, to good, purify. And that is the beginning of cultivation. After you do that, then you develop a lot of parami, like all Kayametta. When you attend the classes through understanding, sincerely, you perform not only the 10 meritorious actions, you develop affinity with great beings, you cultivate great spiritual understanding and penetrative causes and conditions to move on. You strengthen your vows, you improve your understanding on the teaching, the vow, the cultivation. Then through that, you actually make your own miscellaneous vows, additional vows, additional miscellaneous vows. And all this will help you evolve and progress along the path of Dhamma. So all this understanding is more important than just healing people, helping people. That's why I don't interfere with people's life. If you want to seek the understanding of why you are like that, then I can teach you, I can help you, I can explain to you. But you have to do it yourself. I don't interfere. Because that is nature's law. Maybe through your wholesomeness, my nature can help you to invoke power of merits and wholesomeness for your own recovery, causes and conditions. Apart from that, there is nothing much my nature can do. Where you hold the key to your own life destiny, you decide how you want to live your life. If you don't want to develop the wisdom and understanding to live life, then no point. That's why you cannot just like drug addict come, every time he need money to buy drug, you give him money to buy drug to solve his so-called temporary, what they call drug addict type of that thing that can make him feel like break the addiction. They cannot break. No, they cannot break. They like once they receive the money, they will go back and buy drug. Then once the drug come, it's like temporarily relief, like they feel good. That's why they end up like drug addict forever, cannot change. So if you do that, no use. That's why sometimes you cannot really like what to do. They are my children. No, wrong means wrong. Understand? You have to understand that this is the karmic conditioning. After all, he know you, he know me, not so real. But if you deludedly support and do all this through ignorance, then there is karmic. It will hit back, and you will also be part of it. Like in the criminal law, they say when you abate in a CBT case or in a criminal case, the abating people also will face the law. So the nature's law is very fair. Whatever you do, you have a duty, and your duty must be very clear. You cannot just through attachment what to do. They are my children. Then you say pity them. That is all through the thought process, the logic thinking. They are not wisdom. So learning the Dhamma is the same. So here I just want to point out the surgery part. Please don't get it wrong. Okay, we read on. Maybe I just finish this part. Almost 4:30. Suppose that a person were wounded by an arrow, thickly smeared with poison, and his friend and companion, his kinsman and relative, brought a surgeon. The surgeon would cut around the open wound with a knife. Then he would probe for the arrow with a probe. Then he would pull out the arrow and would expel the poisonous humor without leaving a trace of it behind. Knowing that no trace was left behind, he would say, "Good man, the arrow has been pulled out from you. The poisonous tumor has been expelled, with no trace left behind, and it is incapable of harming you. Eat only suitable food. Do not eat unsuitable food, or else the wound may suppurate. From time to time, wash the wound, and from time to time, anoint its opening, so that pus and blood do not cover the opening of the wound. Do not walk around in the wind and sun, or else dust and dirt may infect the opening of the wound. Take care of the wound, good man, and see to it that the wound heals. The man would think, the arrow has been pulled out from me, the poisonous tumor has been expelled, with no trace left behind, and it is incapable of harming me. He would eat only suitable food, and the wound would not suppurate. From time to time he would wash the wound, and from time to time he would anoint its opening, and pus and blood would not cover the opening of the wound. He would not walk around in the wind and the sun. The dust and dirt would not infect the wound. He would take care of the wound and would see to it that the wound healed. Then both, because he does what is suitable, and because the foul, poisonous humor has been expelled with no trace left behind, the wound would heal, and because it had healed and was covered with skin, he would not incur death or deadly suffering. So too, Sunankata. It is possible that some bhikkhu here might think thus: craving has been called an arrow by the recluse. The poisonous tumor of ignorance is spread about by desire, greed, hatred, and delusion. That arrow of craving has been pulled out from me. The poisonous humor of ignorance has been expelled. I am one who completely intends on Nibbana. Being one who really is intent on Nibbana, he would not pursue those things unsuitable for one completely intent on Nibbana. He would not pursue the slight the sight of unsuitable form with the eye. He would not pursue unsuitable sound with the ear, the sixth sense door, because he does not pursue the sight of unsightly form with the eye, unsuitable mind object, etc. Because his mind is not invaded by dust, he will not incur death or daily suffering. So Sunyakata, I have given this simile in order to convey a meaning. This is the meaning here. Wound is a term for the six internal sense bases. Poison human is a term for ignorance. Arrow is a term for craving. Probe is a term for mindfulness. Knife is a term for noble wisdom. Surgeon is a term of the Tathagata, the accomplished one, the fully enlightened one. In his teaching, the Buddha starts from the worldview of belief of the people he is teaching. He only leads them to question their views and belief to the extent necessary for his teaching and to the degree necessary for their liberation. So this is the sainthood way, the advice that he gives to the bhikkhu at that time at the Samsipa grove, where he held out the handful of leaf. He asked the monk, the bhikkhu, which is more, the leaves on my hand or the leaf in the forest above and below? Of course they say the leaf in the forest is a lot more. Then the Buddha replied, similarly, what my nature has realized is like the roof in the whole forest, above and below. But what I have taught you is just a handful. And basically, these are conducive for the sainthood ways awakening, can lead you to realize Sotapanaship, Sakadagamaship, Anagamaship, and finally Arhantaship. That's why for the provisional teaching, he just teaches the essential. But to walk the Bodhisattva way, you have to have the profound understanding of the full Bodhisattva way, the full cultivation, starting from the four basic vows of the Bodhisattva until the full completion of the perfection of the 10 perfection, thereby leading to the realization of Sammasambuddhahood. So for that part, the Buddha didn't teach during the era, but maybe to his close disciple, the higher beings that he has affinity with, he has taught them. That's why it's mentioned in the Mahayana Sutta, that when he teach all this sutta and teaching, especially the Surangama Sutra, a lot of the sainthood way one, they just walk out. They don't have the affinity and they cannot appreciate and understand. Lotus Sutta also has, but this one also same. The Leng Yan Jing is mentioned. They walk away. Because these are higher teaching. Not everybody can have the affinity and the understanding. So when it comes to cultivation, it is your affinity with the Triple Gem. And how far you can go depend on your affinity. If you don't have affinity with great beings, Sammasambuddha, then this Bodhisattva way can never be revealed to them, or they can't even have the causes and condition to receive it. That is the profoundness of this type of teaching. That's why you must have faith, you must develop the affinity to go this way, so that you not only realize the sainthood way awakening, but you can develop the extensive understanding to understand the whole of creation within the existential world, and to realize the supramundane aspect of that nature, and to cultivate that bodhisattva way until perfection, to realize the source, the oneness nature, the complete perfection of wisdom and virtue that is possible for living beings. Then you develop the understanding of life. Then you can continuously arise through the karmic process or through the bodhisattva way to continuously fulfill your work, do all the things that you want, and to experience life to the fullest. And that is very rewarding and very meaningful. So we end here. I will mark the page. Okay. We are at page Romanized 37. Okay, now we are off the light so that you can have your 45 minutes of awareness-based meditation. Since most of you are attending this Surangama Sutra class, you all have the understanding. So make full use of these 45 minutes to develop the stability of your pure awareness nature within. Remember the four support, then silence everything. Just relax, maintain awareness, stay at the heart area, then let the nature take over and develop the transformation from within. Okay, now I will set the alarm for 45 minutes. Okay, you all can slowly, mindfully come out of your meditation. Try to maintain whatever inner peace, inner calmness and inner awareness that you have developed for as long as you can. Okay, now we will continue with our second session, which is meditation reporting, followed by whatever question that you may have, you can ask regarding the meditation, the Dhamma, and today's sharing.
Hello, Amitabha, Brother Teo, Mrs.
Yes.
Teo, and all Ayamitas.
Yeah.
Maybe Brother Teo, I'll just continue a little bit more before Brother Eng Bee share.
Yeah, can.
Yeah, we'll nominate Sister Eng Bee later on.
Yeah.
So she got time.
yeah. Eng Bee is with us here.
Yeah, good. Brother Teo, maybe just share a little bit more about Homage trip. Okay. Actually, I did already share about the Homage, right? So I want to talk a little bit about this other temple that we went, in particular at Huang Long, When we were at Huang Long, right, there was we took the cable up to the Huang Long mountain, and then after that we walk for a long distance, and then somehow this one was not a planned temple. It's just that somewhere along the way, right, we saw this temple, It's called the Huang Long Temple, So since we saw the temple, so we went in and pay our respect, And this temple is a kind of old temple. I look at the plaque, I read it in English, and it says that the building was built, the architecture of the building is like during the Ming Dynasty,
Oh, okay.
So it's pretty old. Then I look at the Lupang, right? And then it shows this Huang Long Zhen Ren. So the main shrine here in front is this Huang Long Zhen Ren. Then there are other small little Lupang, right, beside it, smaller one, not say it's small, but beside this main Huang Long Zhen Ren, right, is it mentioned, Sister Eng Bee read to me, it says that it was Guan Yin, Guan Yin, and
Yeah.
then there is also Wensu Pusa and also Pusen Pusa Lupang there lah. Okay, and then on the building, the walls, right, there were two big painting. One of the painting shows the Huanglong scenery. The scenery is very breathtaking, and then in the picture is I think it's a painting. It's not like a photograph photo, but it's like a painting. And then the painting show this Huanglong, the master lah, in it's like in the painting in the sea of clouds. And then another painting, actually I look at it at that point in time when we were there. But then when I come back yesterday, when I come back already, yesterday I take a look again at the painting. Then I realized the second painting has this Huang Long, the master there, plus in between the sea of clouds, there is a dragon, brother. There's a dragon around where the master was in the sea of clouds. So I do not know what it meant when I see it yesterday. I didn't see it during that time when I was there. But when I look at it in further detail, I saw that dragon. Okay. So anyway, what is the significance? I do not know. But what I wanted to share is as we come out from the temple and we still have to walk away to see the Wu Chai ponds, the five colored ponds. But actually we only knew that it was behind the temple a short distance only, like maybe 10 minutes walk, slow walk up there. So as I walk up from the temple and walking up the steps towards the Wu Chai, the five colored ponds, right? My tears rolling down, I have no idea why my tears rolling down, okay?
Oh, okay.
And then because of that, right? So I do not know what is the significance, but when I had that experience, when we came down, I talked to Sister Eng Bee. I said something unusual happened because both of us went to temple and we also go to the Wu Chai. So I want to ask her whether she experienced anything or not during the walk up to the five colored ponds. So she shared with me this also later. Maybe she want to say what she want to share her experience. So for my case, so I had tears coming out. Although this is unusual because my tears is hardly come out because I always have dry eyes. I always have to put
okay.
So this was very unusual. That's why I talked to Sister Eng Bee what is going on. Maybe she had certain experience as I experienced. But when I was at the temple, when I look at the painting, what my personal reflection of it when I look at the painting, it is a very serene, very breathtaking painting of this master in a sea of clouds in that Huanglong mountain area. But at the same time, I had this this feeling that life is not easy here. It's very deserted. You need the mountain. So for him as a cultivator, right, this master as a cultivator, it's not 不简单的人呐, it's not a simple, it's nothing but simple, It is like, how should I say it? Nothing but simple, means it's really a very arduous kind of cultivation in this kind of high mountain where food is scarce and the condition is harsh, I felt that when I look at the painting, even though the painting is very peaceful, very beautiful, breathtaking, So, so that was my initial reflection when I look at the painting. But I didn't think much of it, But when I walk up to the Wu Chai ponds there, I had these tears coming out that flow out all of a sudden, Yeah, so later on, maybe Sister Eng Bee want to share her experience as well, about this incident when we went to the temple and come out of it, Yeah, so the whole experience to me is so beautiful, breathtaking, but at the same time, I think it's not a simple cultivation, especially when you live in this high altitude, cold temperature, where food is also scarce. But these people are nothing but simple, 不简单, meaning they are like our parents' time. How should I say, how to put them? They are really very, not just hardworking, but what is the adjective to explain this? They have high tenacity, maybe they can overcome any situation.
Yeah. They have
That
more
kind of
endurance.
toughness they
Yeah,
have. Yeah.
more
Endurance. Yeah.
endurance. Yeah.
Yes. They can overcome anything one.
Yeah, they are
I
more
mean,
tough.
yeah, they're tough
Uh,
kind of person, not like
uh,
us. We go here the mountain, or we need to have
yeah.
enough clothing. A bit of cold, we feel uncomfortable. A bit of heat, we feel also uncomfortable. So we are the type of people. Although we can, I mean, we are not that bad, but we will feel the harshness of the condition. Too cold cannot, too hot also cannot. That kind of
Yeah.
situation. But I think for these people, they are really tough. Not
Yeah.
simple, huh?
They
Yeah.
can have that type of endurance because they are cultivators that have developed the acceptance and understanding. You have to be at peace with whatever situation within your uh, vicinity of your way place or your house is not easy. So for ancient people, even my parents' time, I heard from my mother and my father, life at that time in China at my hometown, which is the very remote mountain area. Uh, Not easy, not enough food, weather very extreme and very hilly. Uh, then everybody has to go through it. They had to endure. Then my father told me he judged the situation, look around. He got two parents who are also very old. Then he said he has to leave, no choice. Otherwise, they will die of famine. So my father came out. When he heard there was a ship available at Swatao there, or Santo, sailing off, don't know by what date. He determined, he walked for many days and nights to Santo and embarked the ship. That's how he came over to Malaysia. He landed in Penang, I think. And not easy. Then my mother was later more fortunate when my father became successful. He applied to get my mother, my grandmother, and my eldest brother to join him. So when my mother reached Malaysia, she was so happy, full of joy, and yet she worked very hard, non-stop every day. Where later on she gave birth to total 9 of us, and their life were tough. But from her own words, she told me, he said, when I came out of China, it's like I out of the suffering world, he said, because later on he asked me about Dhamma, about Buddhism and the chanting that people do. So I explained to her the main purpose is to meditate, to develop wisdom, to be free from suffering. He said, the moment I came out of China, I'm already out of the suffering. He said, here Malaysia, everything is so good, so conducive. Your soil are so fertile, no hill, nothing. Water available in the well, in the pipe at home. And nice house, nice condition, food, everything available in abundance. And the air very good. Whatever you throw onto the ground, it grow, it flourish. They said to them, despite what they endure and the tough life, but they have gratitude, they have joy, and they can compare very easily. So cultivator of the way, if they have the true cultivation, is the same. No matter how harsh the condition can be. Just like when I grew up from the small hometown, I don't feel that it's like terrible, difficult or what, because I had that past that helped me. I in fact enjoy my childhood, despite the simplicity of life at that time during the 50s. Everything was not developed yet. Compared to now, of course, it's way more primitive. But I enjoy my childhood life. I went through all those, I was able to observe life, then I actually look back, I learned a lot of things. And I start to develop the understanding after I develop the cultivation that every individual, each and every one of us is different karmically. The karmic conditioning, everything, even I told Sui, they all, and including those that have affinity with me. I say, whether that person can study, cannot study, end up become what type of person their life, all already have the karmic imprint. They are just the way they are. Then a lot of these things, as you develop the cultivation, you start to understand. And the key word is the gratitude, the appreciation, and the joy that come from understanding. And able to develop all those, what they call wisdom, that really give us that special understanding quality through the mind that penetrate truth, so that we can really live life. So that time when you were there, I believe, is your compassion. Then your observation was different, because simplicity with the harsh condition is not easy to endure, and all those things. Where you comparing to what we experience over our side in Singapore, maybe Malaysia, it's very different. But for them, it's not a problem, especially if they are cultivated. Some choose the high altitude, the hermit life. That's why you will witness all this. But based on what I foresee is, you, Eng Bee, and the group that went, you all have the causal same condition and affinity. So whichever temple you all visit, something will happen. Like your tears and all those things, people may not understand. Maybe at that time you also didn't really understand, but you only know there is a very unique thing, because you have dry eyes and you seldom have tears. But all this manifestation, based on your cultivation now, at least you can detect it and you can sense something, but you may not have the full understanding. But later on, as you progress further and transform further, you will understand. You will develop the clear understanding of why all this manifests. Then you can see further, deeper, more extensive. And a lot of strange things can happen. You remember last time, there was one Dhamma friend, I think Mimi Chang, you all know her. Her first trip with me, spiritual trip to Uttaisan. He went up to one of the mountain. I remember that time the road, access road, was not ready. We had to park our vehicle down the slope there, and we had to climb up the slope, which is a bit high. Then we had to climb over the wall, the slope wall, to enter the monastery like a cave like that one. I remember as she was climbing up, the tears starts to roll from her eye. Then as she reached the place, before she climbed over and entered the temple, she was sobbing and crying non-stop until all the other kilometers that went with me on. My first batch of people mainly, they all surprised. Then I told them, don't worry, part of the way, part of past affinity. Then she keep on crying. Then after that I asked her, what happened? She said, Brother, I don't know. He said, my tears keep on coming out. I keep on crying and sobbing. Then he said, it's like she felt she is coming home. She has been there before. Then when she saw the abbot sign up there, the abbot like smiled to her and talked to her. Finally, you are back. That's why he go and pay her respect. And that time she was very new. She somehow liked to meditate because the condition has arisen and it manifests. Then she was very new at that time. She happened to come to my class. Then I happened to go to BU there to teach. Then he attended my talk too. Then later on, after that trip, it's like closed already, not meant to be. Nobody is supposed to come in already, because we have decided how many going and all closed already, because there were a lot of them. Then she asked suddenly that Saturday class at Champaka, remember? Suddenly she requests to join us. I say, yeah, why not? Because I was delivering a talk and teaching meditation there. Then she decided to come. Then during the class, she suddenly asked, any spiritual trip organized by Brother Teo? Then they all look at her and they not tell her. Then one of the Kayamita that fetched me there came and talked to me. He said, Brother Teo, there is this Mimi Chang. He inquired about the spiritual trip, but we closed already or how. The moment I heard that, where she asked me a question before during the talk. I said, this lady can join her, she has past affinity. Then I said, okay, we extend the bus, make it bigger so that the reserve list also can come, she also can come. And that's how she came. And after that, she has been following me for very long. And she got very good experience and all things. So all this can manifest. So the tears thing, don't worry. It will come to be and you will start to develop the understanding. Okay, you have any more thing to add? Otherwise, we can get Eng Bee to share.
Good evening, Brother Teo, Mrs. Teo, and all Kalian meeters. Sister Poh Cheng, I thought you haven't finished a lot of your... I tuck out my tongue when you mentioned my name. It's unexpected. Anyway, thank you for nominating me. Talk about Huang Long experience. Huang Long is the most kind of, according to the Tao Yu, it's very tough for senior citizens. They even discourage us, not the Tao Yu discourage, I think Mr. discouraged us from going. So, but at last we made it. Our wish come true, and at no unforeseen, no other mishap happens. We also go slow and steady without using the oxygen canister also. As Poh Cheng said, there was a temple. There is a temple there in the middle of nowhere. After we came out for a walk for a while from the cable car station, and inside there's I can't remember. I think there's no Buddha Rupang, only the Huang Long Zhen Ren. Huang Long Zhen Ren's statue is there. And then on the left and right, both sides of the wall, there are the pictures, the pictures that the painting or something like that, as mentioned by Poh Cheng just now. So we just pay our respect to all the great beings, and then we stop there for a short, taking our these biscuits or bread that we bring along. And then we continue walk up to the Wu Cai Ci, five colored ponds. So when we go towards that steps, before they start the step, they divide into two ways. Like usually on the right hand side, people going up, and left hand side, people, the traffic coming down. So it's a kind of a different sensation for me. I didn't ask Po Cheng at that time that her tears came out, all those things. When we came down, only we discussed. When we woke up, I felt my 10 fingers were
tingling
like a lot of, like spider's web.
I know. Like you are receiving a lot of energy.
Like spider's web.
Yeah.
Very strong.
Yeah, like
both sides.
Like stick to it, like glue to it.
Glue to it, stick it, and at the same time like shining out also.
Yeah.
Like shining out also.
Sadhu. Very good.
That kind of feeling like the Spider-Man
movie,
the Spider-Man movie where he shine on the wall, then white come out, and then he can stick on the wall and climb out. That type of feeling
Sadhu.
So very strong. I also don't know. This is in fact the second time I felt it. The first time somewhere along this trip, don't know where it is. Somewhere near a restaurant or before I go to the restroom, toilet or what. I felt it also. I said, I told one of our tour member, I said, why? I felt like that on my finger. It's something like static electricity.
Yeah, static. Yes.
But it's not static.
Correct,
it's not
I know.
static. It doesn't shock me.
Yeah, it doesn't shock you.
So that was the first time. Then at Huang Long is the second time. Because since the second time, I feel the thing I don't know what you call it. Very strong. And then I just away, and then just keep on walking.
You just continue to relax and let it draw, let it do whatever you want.
Just
do not resist, just continue, relax, maintain awareness. Then a lot of things will happen. Meant to be, because it's your cultivation, your nature. Then you have the causes and conditions to receive all this. It can be from the nature there, or one of the beings, cultivator or one, that have affinity with your nature. Then it's like meant to be, wants to help you and help you progress and develop all this. It's just like in the early years, 1996, I remember. That time, the first time I went to China, my company sent me on a company trip. So I went to these 4 places which were very beautiful. First is, of course, we landed in Beijing. We call it that one the Forbidden City. We walk a lot. There, not much energy. But the other one, Xi'an, the what they call Bai Ma Si or the series. There I felt a lot of this thing. Then when I was in this, they say Jia Tian Xie one is where? Guilin. Guilin, I got one cave. Very funny. I went in, the energy was engulfing me. I feel funny, I just stay there. There's a lot of joy. There is a being, something inside there, full of joy. Keep on radiating the energy that I knew. I just draw and I express my gratitude and thank them. I rejoice, I share merit, I transfer merit. Then later on, we went to another place. I remember 4 places. The other one was, I think Guangzhou, I don't know where, I forgot already. Near to the Xiamen, not Xiamen area. So there also I felt one of the place where I visit is a very ancient temple. So all this, you will know and it will manifest. And that time was 1996. Of course, I haven't come out and share and teach. And it was not a spiritual trip. It was just my own private company trip. The company sent me there because I had to bring along some client of ours that wanted to visit China. And I was chosen because I was one of the most senior there, with another engineer more senior than me. I think two of us. We supposed to go as a couple, but my wife cannot take leave, so I went. Then after that trip, I come back. I knew already there are places where it's meant to be one. When you are there, you will know. So all this will manifest. Then based on what you described, as I rejoice. It must be something very wholesome. Okay, you continue, Eng Bee. Yeah.
So I just aware of it, and then keep walking because we are trying still to search for the Wu Cai Ci. And when walk for a short distance, and then we realize, wow, in front there is the Wu Cai Ci already, not far from the temple itself.
Yeah.
So as usual, we take photo, all those things.
Yeah.
After that, we came down. We came down at the designated place and time that we're supposed to meet again with the Tao Yu. So there's a bit of my experience. I never felt that before.
Yeah.
So as Brother Teo said, we just aware of it.
Relax
into
most
it, silent into it.
And don't resist. Rejoice and thank. Express your gratitude. That one very important. Then later on, I need to ask you, do you feel anything at your heart area?
The one is at Amazon.
Oh, Amazon. Very good.
Very strong.
Very good. Once you feel there, they are trying to activate your nature inside. They try to activate it. It is to help you progress. Because when I later on take people on spiritual trip, sometimes in the flight on the way, I pass by somewhere, there are great beings, nature and cultivator around, and my nature I detect. Then it draw. Initially is my nature draw from them. Then later on when I came out to teach, when after 2004 onward, the spiritual trip that I took them, I realized wherever I go, this being, they were so full of joy. They like expecting us, and they wanted to actually meet us, protect us, and do all. They start to draw from my nature. And a lot of things just happen. That's why very good. And the Pusian there, the Jing Ting there,
yes, Jing Ting.
very good. Sadhu, very good.
That like what Sister Poh Cheng mentioned the other sharing. After 6 o'clock when the temple was closed, we walked back to the hotel and rest. Okay, so there are two advice also by tour guide said at those high altitude area we try not to bathe and try not to wash our hands.
Yes.
These two things. So we follow the instructions. So when I go back to the room and rest, since no need to bathe, no need to wash anything. So I also a bit tired. I lie down on the bed.
Sadhu, wow, very good.
Lie down on the bed straight away.
You will go in, it will move by itself.
Straight away, I lie down on the bed and then I put my two hands beside me. The heartbeat was so strong.
Very strong and very clear.
Very clear, like want to jump out.
Because you know why? That energy that comes from their nature is too strong for normal cultivator. Well, in the early day also say, after 1989, continue until the year 2002, I think. Wow, their energy, their nature's energy, initially I also told song, too strong for us because we are like just connecting and all those things. Then this one, wow, very strong. Then I was also amazed. Sometimes I had to slow down. You cannot take the energy and the pace, but you feel very good when you completely tired, relaxed. They really transform inside and develop the movement. Because after I did the fourth support, the gateway one, this energy keep on coming, very strong. Sometimes at home you meditate, it's also like that. Then especially Cameron Island, whenever I go there and teach, a lot of these great beings, nature's energy, they come in and you will draw. Then when it starts to transform, you will open up this whole area. Open up, front and back. And it moves by itself. Then all this movement, you no need teacher or whoever to teach you on. If you are mindful and aware, you will know what this movement is on. And you can understand the real cultivation is so different now than nature's cultivation. That one thought cannot go in one. Normal people cannot do one. Then the way it happens, it transforms, that pure energy that is being activated and released, actually open up all those small nadis and chakra that need to be activated. Then your whole vibration and transformation become very fine. Yeah. I remember fine until initially it's a mundane mind collapse. It becomes so fine until your whole awareness nature keep on transforming, and you keep on developing the ability to see and understand a lot of things that normal cultivation cannot penetrate on. Yeah. That's very good. So you continue after you relax and the pounding of the heart, everything, what happened. You continue.
I just relate into it, and then no thinking at
no
all.
Thinking at all. No thought.
Very exhausted, very tired, but still aware.
That is
clear.
The best time to do the lying down awareness-based meditation. It will tell you to go and sleep on. Not to sleep. Maintain awareness and silence everything. Just let it happen. Very good.
So now when I recall back and report it down, I already know that's how the trust.
How the trust works. No interference from the thought at all. It just happened by itself. And initially you experience this pounding and very strong energy coming in. Like want to pop out of your heart. Very true. Then later on, you will need a lot of food on. When that one drop.
I increase 1 kg.
Wow, very good. No, you will know that you need food on, because you need this physical energy to let this physical energy melt inside and transform. That time I eat a lot. For no reason I will go out to look for food on. Because, not to say craving, my body need. When my body need, I even tell my wife, we go. Then you will know what to do, and you will know which food you need on. Sometimes the food I go and order and buy or eat, I don't like one actually, but the body need. That's why I go and buy. Then sometimes I'll go eat mash what I like. I'll go and eat. I will order it. Very good, sadhu.
And then beside the heartbeat is pounding. My 2 hands, 4 limbs. 2 legs and 2 hands.
They are like antenna. Like antenna. Draw.
I don't know draw or what.
No, it's draw.
A lot of sensation.
A lot of sensation, vibration.
Shaking, vibration.
It's activated. Activated. The whole bodily chakra, everything activated. Then it at the same time draw from nature. From great beings, nature. That's why all these are the spiritual cultivation and practice that normal thought base cannot do one. They all only got the thought energy, the what they call psychic energy, that make them strong. But this one is you trust, you don't resist, but it happened by itself, and that is the big difference. No interference. So it is already intelligent, wise, because of the wisdom. And it moves by itself, it activates by itself, it releases by itself. And after that, you feel your whole body like very different, very healthy. Then even whatever thing you consume, it's like that purity inside there Then, if I'm not wrong, you will start to fart a lot, release a lot of gas later on. Maybe not so fast later on. A lot of gas, just it's like clear the internal toxin, understand? Whatever that need to be clear, it clear very fast. Then it release, it starts to release. Then sometimes when you do this transformation, there and then the release of the gaseous thing happen, but no smell one. Don't worry. Don't have foul smell like you fart on. Because this one is the release from inside one. When the nadis and all those things, it's from your life force that come and help you, and the external, whatever great beings, nature's energy that come in, then through the gateway, it will pass through and become pure energy. Then it will activate the different part of the nadis and what. And that one, when it activates and release the byproduct, we call the gases, it doesn't go through the inner one. But it come out from your body because it is actually released out. Then no smell. It is like you know a lot of discharge, the gas just come out. So all this, it will evolve and develop, and you will start to understand. That's why the Dhamma is pacetang. The cultivation, the transformation can only be understood and realized by the wise, each for themselves. That's why very good. So not only you all go the spiritual trip, I was told Alicia, they are also organizing another one this November. I think same area one.
Jiuhuashan.
Oh, Jiuhuashan, yeah. She got affinity with Tichangwang Puja, yeah, Jiuhuashan. Very good. They will also experience a lot of things, because it's like meant to be. And this is good because she actually asked me whether I want to join her tree or not. Initially I said, let me have a look at your program. Then I realized our Qingdao coming already. Then after that, our gathering of Kalyana, then immediately got to go there. Then I got my family tree in Bangkok end of the year. So I told my wife, never mind, just let things be, let them go alone. Then your side, I also heard about it, but because nobody approached me and meant to be, then you want to go on your own. Because normally I've been there before already, especially Maison Fusian. I have been there 2 or 3 times, at least 2 times. So most of these places I won't go unless there are causes and conditions. Puja, I've been there 4 or 5 times. So all these are very good sharing, good cultivation experience that our Kayamita can go through. And all this spiritual trip or one, later on you all, when your nature transforms, you also will know whether to go or not to go. The causes and conditions will arise. Like I told you all, I never decide. Things just happen. My nature just accord and flow. Yeah, you can wrap up because the time is up, I think. Maybe. Yeah.
So that's how I was feeling during that time. So how should I say? Maybe if I don't report as nominated by Sister Poh Cheng, I won't know these are the kind of
the thing that can happen for cultivator. Trust in your nature.
Is doing it. Is
correct. That's why I say, don't resist, don't react, just silent. Do whatever they manifest, just draw and let it happen. That is what trust is, and that is what the cultivator's understanding will continue to evolve. But once you use your thought, you develop your own fear, worry, curiosity or what, then like you are in doubt, then that thing cannot go in, because that thought resists. That nature cannot do its work. It's just like when you sleep, you have a lot of subconscious really unconscious, means the sankhara still moving. That nature's energy, which our life force, cannot heal you, cannot develop the ability to do what they want to do because of your resistance from the thought. That's why the 慧能六祖, the first hallmark, 无念, that is true mind, the meditative mind. The real cultivator will always stay there. But from there, thought arises very fast. Fear, emotion, everything arises very fast. So if you completely silent without thought, no duality, nothing, then that nature manifests. Then it will do a lot of things on its own. It will draw, it will transform and everything. That's why awareness-based meditation is very different from thought-based. And very few people can develop the understanding, because very few people can teach. That's why this is something very unique, very, I should say, rare. And you should thank your good karmic affinity and nature, because the sasana bring forth the causes and conditions. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Yeah.
Thank you very much,
Yeah.
Brother Teo.
Yeah.
Invite Brother Teo to lead us in sharing.
Can.
Thank you.
Okay. Let us now develop the composed mind. Then together we rejoice with all the wholesomeness. Then we share this merits and wholesomeness we all being, starting with the Devas. Akasata Chevumata Deva Naga Dika Punyang Tang Anamoditwa Chirang Rakantu Lokasasana Ita Wata Chamehi Sampadan Punya Sampadan Sabbe Deva Anamodantu Sabba Sampati Siddhya Idang menya tinang hotu sukita hontu nyatayo. Idang menya tinang hotu sukita hontu nyatayo. Idang menya tinang hotu sukita hontu nyatayo. Devo satu kalena sasa sampati heto cha Vito bhavatu loko cha Raja bhavatu dhammiko. Imina punyang kamena Mame bala samagamo Satang samagamo hotu Yawa nivana patiya. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Okay, you all can now mindfully pay your respect to Lord Buddha, Kuan Yin Bodhisattva, and all the worthy ones. There we end. Sadhu.